Hello. Very good morning, all of you. I am Bhavinder Patkar. Welcome you all the offline as well as online participants. Welcome to this expert talk on the intellectual property rights. So, today's speaker, Dr. Ajay Thakur, is unavailable because of some genuine reason. So, expert faculty from our college, Assistant Professor Mr. Ganesh Dive will conduct this session. So, without wasting your time, I request uh, Mr. Ganesh Dive to present his presentation. Please welcome Mr. Ganesh Dive.
Good morning, everybody. We have program. I request the online participants to put your message, to put your feedback in the chat box. Because your voice is not audible to us, so please write your message in the chat box. Okay. So I welcome all the participants, and because Dr. Ajay Thakur could not be available today, I'm delivering this talk on intellectual property rights. So let's begin with the meaning of intellectual property rights. What do you mean by intellectual? Intellectual is something related with our intellect. It is something related with our brain power or mental power. So I request Partner Sir to present the next slide. Yes, so this is the presentation intellectual property rights. So all of you understand the meaning of intellectual. It is related with brain power, mental power, our intellect. Okay. Second word here is property. The word property, all of you understand. Property, we have several possessions as our property. Okay. So whatever we possess, that is our property. And next word is rights. Rights are our special if it is your brain power, you should be able to get profit. If it is your invention, if it is your creation, you should get utmost benefit. But this benefit, as per the government laws, as per the global laws, there can be some limitations or exceptions, considering the well-being of the human beings. It is time bound. For example, if a writer gets copyright, the copyright may be given for 15 years or for 50 years. So it depends on the laws. So some years are given. That the intellectual property is territorial. Territorial means in a certain territory, these rights are given. For example, if as per the intellectual property rights, intellectual property laws of India, if the rights are assigned to you, then those rights they are available only in Indian territory, only in India. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss the definition of intellectual property. Different scholars, different experts, they have tried to define intellectual property. So intellectual property shall include the rights relating to certain aspects they are given. The first one is literary. Literary, as I gave you the examples, drama, poetry, essays, short story, these are the literary works. Artistic works like a sculpture, a painting. A painting even comes in copyrights, it is artistic creation. Okay. Then scientific works. If you invent a new scientific procedure, or if you invent a new scientific product or a machine, or even circuits in the field of electronics, some new circuits can be designed. So that comes in scientific works. Then performances of performing artists, Kathak, Bharatanatyam. These are classic performances, so they can also be safeguarded with the help of intellectual property. The phonograms, they are the audio recordings and broadcast. So video and audio clips, even they can be safeguarded, they can have protection under intellectual property rights. Next one is inventions in all fields of human endeavor. There is no limit as such. Intellectual property rights, they are not limited only to literary works or scientific or technical inventions. Let there be any field. In the field of agriculture also, even a farmer can do something invention. That also can be protected as per the laws. Okay. So, in all the fields of inventions, or in all fields of human endeavor, there are intellectual property rights. Next one is scientific discoveries. Scientific discoveries. So we had some examples of scientific discoveries. Next is industrial designs. So the technical people, they know it very well. Different industrial designs. Next is trademarks. You have heard about Britannia, Parle-G, Nestle. Okay, so there are different trademarks used. Mahindra, Tata, Toyota. So you know how Toyota is mentioned, how the Toyota uses symbol on its cars. Toyota Innova. How the Toyota symbol is used in front of the car there. So that is a trademark. Okay, so that those trademarks also are protected. That can't be copied illegally. Okay, trademarks, service marks like Zomato. You are familiar with Zomato and other service agencies. Commercial names and designations. Commercial names of different business companies, even they are protected. For example, now our college, Maharshi Parshuram College of Engineering, the same name cannot be used illegally by other college. Okay, this name also can be protected under the laws. Protection against unfair competition and all other rights resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary, or artistic fields. So protection is given to the owner of the particular creation, particular invention. I hope the online meeting also is going on, sir. The protection is given against unfair competition. There is competition in the market, and people do cheat. People do use some illegal ways also. For example, Parle-G. Parle-G is a brand. It's a trademark. Okay. If a customer wants Parle-G, only the Parle-G biscuits you should get. Okay. But what people do is, it's not Parle-G, Parole-G. So slight spelling is changed, and there are some illiterate people. They can't read it even. Okay, only they see the wrapper, they see the biscuits, and actually it is not Parle-G. It may be Parole-G, and sometimes people may be cheated there. Okay, so as per the intellectual property rights, protection is given against unfair competition and all other rights resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary, or artistic fields. So your performance, work of art should be protected. Otherwise, you as the creator, because it is your intellect, it is your brain power. Suppose you invent a new smartphone, that is your creation, and you should get benefit of it. Other people should not use it illegally. If it is copied or if it is produced illegally, then you will not be able to get its profit. Okay, so that is why the owner's rights are protected as per the intellectual property rights. Let's move on to the next part. Now, what is the basic principle? Let's try to understand the basic principle. It is the contract between the creator and sovereign state. The sovereign state has all the rights to design laws. Okay. So it is the contract. Intellectual property rights are nothing but the contract between the creator, the inventor, and the state. For example, India. As per the Indian laws, the creator may get some protection. It is the contract between the creator and Indian state, or if it is the foreign national in that particular country, the particular person will get that protection. Protection from revelation. Whether you want to showcase your creation or not, all the rights are up to you. Whether you are going to sell your rights or not, whether you will assign the manufacturing rights to a company or not, all the rights are to the creator, the inventor. Balance between the rights of creator and public interest. The public interest, as I said, is also taken into consideration. In the case of corona vaccine, not many people are dying. And if you invent corona vaccine and if you don't want to sell the rights for mass manufacturing, okay, bulk manufacturing of corona vaccine should take place, no? Of course, you should get profit, but unless you sell your rights and if the bulk production of corona vaccine is allowed, then only the lives of people will be saved. So the state, Indian state, or in the case of any country, the state takes into consideration public interest. Though it is your creation, the public interest also is taken into consideration. Okay. Rights and limitations and exceptions. So, of course, there are some limitations and exceptions. So, those limitations and exceptions we will study case by case because there are several types of intellectual property rights. Okay. Let's move ahead. Now, let's study what are the major intellectual properties. What are the major intellectual properties? The first one is copyright and related rights. Copyright related to basically books. Okay, books and other publications. Next is industrial property. What is industrial property? In the case of industrial property, The rights assigned are patents, industrial designs, trademarks, geographical indications, layouts, designs, topographies, integrated circuits, trade secrets, and protection of new plant varieties. So these points we are going to discuss in detail. I request Patkar sir to take some screenshots. Please take one of these screenshots of the session. So let's move ahead. Now let's consider the IP laws of India. What are different intellectual property laws in India? The first act is the next slide. The Copyright Act 1957. The ministry, the department related with this particular act is higher education. Please change the slide. Copyright Act 1957 related with higher education. So there are several laws. The subject is very wide actually, and today we are having only the introductory session. To study all the laws in detail, it will take a lot of time. Okay, today we are having only the introduction to intellectual property rights. So, Copyright Act 1957. Then the Patents Act 1970. It is related with industrial policy and promotion. Next is the Designs Act 2000. Again related with the Department Industrial Policy and Promotion. Then the Trademarks Act 1999 related with industrial policy and promotion. Next is the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999. Next is the Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act 2000. Next is the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001 related with Agriculture and Cooperation Department. Okay, so we will not go into these acts. We will just have the introduction to the surface meaning of these different points. Copyright, patents, etc. Scope of copyright. Now let us discuss in detail the scope of copyright. It is original, literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic work. So the particular work should be original, literary work, dramatic work, musical composition, or artistic work like painting, etc. Okay, or sculpture. The work, the ideas expressed in material form. The ideas are expressed there in material form. With the help of art, the ideas are expressed there. No copyright in ideas or facts. The copyright is not for the ideas or facts. The copyright is for the particular book, particular painting. The same message can be conveyed with the help of other painting by other painter. The same painting can't be used by other painter as his or her painting. If painter X has painted a particular painting, XYZ painting is there, the same painting can't be used by other painting as his painting. Okay. For example, you write a book based upon applied chemistry. Okay. So for that book, you can have copyright. But the ideas expressed there, the facts expressed there, they can't have copyright. Those ideas, in some other words, they can be expressed by other writers also. Okay. Other writers cannot copy that particular book as it is. Okay, that is protected as per the laws. Cinematograph films. So films, the video clips, they can be protected. And sound recordings, even audio clips, they can have protection as per the Copyright Act. So this is the scope of copyright. The literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works, video clips, audio clips, they can be protected. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now, the ownership of rights. The literary work, if it is a literary work, the author has the complete rights. Author has the copyright. Okay. In case of a drama, dramatist has the rights. In case of music, the composer has rights. In case of artistic work, the artist, for example, painter, sculptor, architect has those rights. In case of photograph, photographer has the rights. The author of computer program, the person who uses that particular program, the person who causes the work to be created, the software engineer in a way. Okay. So the computer program who has designed it has all the rights. They are the copyrights. Then cinematograph film, the producer has the rights, and in case of sound recording, again the producer has the rights. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, the author has owner of rights. What are the exceptions? As we discussed that all the intellectual property rights, they have some exceptions. So what are the exceptions in case of copyrights? In the course of employment, the employer has the rights. For example, Meena Kashyap madam, she writes a book on instrumentation engineering. She is employed here in Maharishi Parshuram College. So that copyright, those rights will be with the employer, the management of Maharishi Parshuram College. Okay. So if you are in the employment, the employer has all the rights. Okay. Employment by newspaper or magazine. If a journalist, a reporter is employed in a newspaper or magazine, then employer has publishing right. Other rights with author. The publication rights are with the publishing agency, basically. In case of photograph, painting, cinema, or valuable consideration, the person who pays money. Suppose XYZ organization gives sponsorship to a painter, or XYZ organization gives sponsorship to a sculptor, then the sponsor or one who pays money has the rights. Okay, so the creator's rights will be with the sponsor. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, duration of copyright. So, as I said, each copyright has certain duration. Literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works published during lifetime of author. If the work is published in the lifetime of author, life of the author, if the author lives for, let us say, 70 years, 70 years life of author plus next 60 years, that is the copyright. Okay. All other works, 60 years from date of publication. Only in case of the literary, dramatic, or musical or artistic work published during lifetime of author plus life plus 60 years. The other works, they have 60 years duration only. Okay. There may be some works, they are posthumous works or anonymous works even. Okay. Works of government and organizations, cinema and sound recording and photography. So these works also have a certain duration. Okay. It may be 60 years from the date of publication. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. So this is all about copyright. Now let's move on to what is patent. So in technology, basically, you should know what is a patent. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, which is a product or a process that provides a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solution to a problem. Okay, so try to understand this definition of patent. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. Basically, it has to be invention, which is a product, it It can be a product or a process. It can also be a process that provides a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solution to a problem. There are several problems faced by industries. You as an engineer, you as a technocrat, or you as a servicing agency, you can provide a solution to the industry. Okay, that also can be patented. The limited monopoly right granted by the state enables an inventor to prohibit another person from manufacturing, using, or selling the patented product, or from using the patented process without permission. So, once you as an engineer, a technocrat, you have a patent. Okay. Once you have a patent, then you are given certain rights. What are these rights? See, the limited monopoly right. In a way, these rights create monopoly. For example, recently we had the project exhibition. Okay, in that you have seen one home automation product. Okay, by using cell phone, by using mobile phone, you can switch on tube light or you can switch on fan, etc. So that is the creation there. Okay, if it is a new creation, if it is original creation, it can have patent. Okay, once those students, those group of students, if they have patent, they will have monopoly. Nobody, especially in India, nobody will be able to produce the same kind of product. Okay, nobody will be able to manufacture the same kind of product. So the limited monopoly right granted by the state enables an inventor to prohibit another person from manufacturing. If you find illegal manufacturing of your product, you can file a case. You can file a case. Using or selling the patented product or from using the patented process without permission. Even the process that you have designed that can be patented, and the illegal use of that particular process can be prohibited, can be restricted. Okay. The period of patents is 20 years. Once you have the patent's validity is for next 20 years. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now let's discuss what can be patented. So basically we have discussed about scientific and technical inventions. Now what can be patented? Inventions in all fields of technology, whether previous slide. Inventions in all fields of technology, whether products or processes, if they meet the criteria of, so your product or your process should meet particular criteria. Then only you will have patent. Otherwise, anybody will apply for patent and there will be not many patents. Such a case doesn't happen anymore. So, checks all the criteria. If your process or if your invention fulfills all the criteria, then only you will be given patent. So first is novelty. Novelty is newness. Your creation must be a new creation, original creation of your mind. Okay. And previously, in the history, in the past, no one should have done that invention. Okay, such should be your novel invention. First time ever. Non-obviousness. Non-obviousness means the inventive step. So it is a bit different. It is different than the previous procedures. It is the creation. It is done. It is manufactured with the help of something new, some new technology, some new procedure. Okay. Industrial application. Utility also will be checked. It must be usable. It must be useful in the practical world. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. So this is all about patent. Okay. Now the next point is, what is an industrial design? Industrial designs also can be protected. Design means only the features of shape, pattern, ornament, or composition of lines or colors apply to any article. Try to understand this point. Yesterday I was watching one YouTube video when Josh talked in Hindi. The lady there, she was explaining her career in design. After 12th, she had taken admission to NSD or MDS something. I'm not much familiar with it. That institute is in Ahmedabad. She completed her course in 1990, 1991 somewhere. Okay, and then she has founded a company called Elephant Design that is located in Pune. Okay, so nowadays in recent years there are several schools, colleges, institutes available in India, but majority of the students even they are familiar basically with arts, science, commerce, engineering, medical, but there are not many other fields that are available as career opportunities. So in design also there is lot of scope. There are design institutes also that train you especially in designs. Okay. Design means only the features of shape, configuration. Try to understand each word. And in the next slide I will give you some examples to understand how you can design shapes and configurations. Okay. Shape, configuration,
So there are some online participants also. So let's continue. So basically the design can be seen by the eyes. So already I gave you several examples and you can see those designs around you. So in the slide, there are several designs shown here. Different consumer products are there. What are different consumer products? See, yes, these are the different consumer products. Wallet, toothbrush. All of you have seen there are several designs in toothbrush. The painting brush, then handbag, pen. There are people those who love different designs of pen. Then iron, water bottles, scissors, beakers, watches, wrist watches or wall clocks, comb, chappals, slippers, shoes, sandals, whatever. Okay, pen stand, refrigerator. So there are different designs. These are some consumer products. In all these consumer products, always there is competition for new designs. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. There are some pharmaceutical products. Now, suppose your doctor gives you a tablet, okay, and you feel that this is a new tablet. The contents may be the same, only the shape of the tablet may be changed. Previously, it was a round tablet, and now it is a capsule. The contents are the same, only the design is changed. Okay, so in pharmaceutical products also, there are different designs. Okay, so for example, syringe or the different bottles, beakers, whatever the doctor requires, injection. Even nowadays, during Corona pandemic, we have seen the all of us we are using that spray. Call it sanitizer. Yes, sanitizer. Yeah. So sanitizer bottles here have different designs. The sprays also have different designs. So pharmaceutical products. Next is textile and jewelry. In the field of textile and jewelry also we discuss several examples. So different ornaments, even our day-to-day things that we require, bed sheet, the pillow cover, even the mattress. Okay. So there can be different designs used. So all these designs have protection. Let's move on to the next slide. Rights of the registered writer. If your design is a new design, if you have the rights for protection, what are your rights? The proprietor of the registered design has the exclusive right to apply the design to any article in the class in which the design is registered. Your design will be registered. So the proprietor, you as the owner of the registered design, has the exclusive right to apply the design to any article in the class in which the design is registered. In that particular class, you can use that particular right. The period of protection is 10 years, extendable by 5 years. If you reapply, the period can be extended by 5 more years. Okay. Now let's move on to the next point. Next point is trademarks. So already I gave you some examples of trademarks. Nabil, can you give some more examples of trademarks? Nabil is our first year student, and Nabil and Atharva will give some examples of trademarks. I gave you some examples, Parle-G, Toyota. Similarly, you can give some more examples of trademarks. Next slide, please. Yes, please. Any examples of trademarks? Now, simple examples here. Now, this water bottle that you see here, society tea, all of you are using in your kitchen. Okay, society tea, society is a trademark. And the way the word society is written, it's a typical version. It's a typical font in which the word society is written. That again is a trademark. Okay. So there are two examples shown here of trademark. A name of an enterprise or a mark capable of being represented graphically, distinguishing the goods or services of one person from those of others. For example, Lux soap. Since several years since your childhood, you have been using Lux soap. Lux, Godrej, PBS, Telco, 555, Apple. These are different examples of trademarks. Okay. Trademark can be sign, words, letters, numbers, drawings, pictures, emblem. Our college, Maharishi Personal College, even it has particular logo. Okay, so that logo also can be protected. Colors or combination of colors, shape of goods, then graphic representation or packaging, or any combination of the above, as applied to an article or a product. So, trademark can be one or the combination of all of this. Sign, words, letters, numbers, drawing, pictures, emblem, colors, combination of colors. Okay. So, as we discussed about parlance or society, which are branding type, it has proper color combination also, not even specific. Okay. So, all that together is a trademark. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. Registration of trademark. Okay, yes. Registration of trademark. Trademarks are registered by national trademark registries and are valid in that country. Registration is made after examination and publication. Period of registration is for 10 years but can be renewed indefinitely. So, trademark also can be registered with national trademark registries. This is one government office. Okay. And the period of registration will be for 10 years and it can be extended for infinite period. Okay. So I hope you understood the idea about trademarks. Now let's move on to the next point. Next point is about geographical indication. Now all of you are very much familiar with geographical indications. It's very simple actually. For example, Devgarh Hapus, Ratnagiri Hapus. Okay, or Kolhapuri Chappal. So these are some examples of geographical indications. Let's study it in detail. Geographical indication is an indication which identifies goods as agricultural goods, natural goods, or manufactured goods as originating or manufactured in the territory of country or a region or locality in that territory where a given quality, reputation, or other characteristics of such goods is essentially attributable to its geographical origin. So, in this certain environment, only Devgarh Hapus is produced. Devgarh Hapus or Ratnagiri Hapus is produced in a certain temperature, in certain humidity, in a certain region. Okay, so that is why it is called Devgarh Hapus or Ratnagiri Hapus. Okay. In Sangli district, if there is a mango tree, and if that Hapus, if it is called Devgarh Hapus, that is wrong. Okay. The farmers producing Devgarh Hapus, they can file a case against one who is selling Sangli Hapus as Devgarh Hapus. You get my point. Okay. Or at Velleshwar, if somebody manufactures Kolhapuri chappal, and if a person sells Kolhapuri chappals by manufacturing here at Velleshwar, humidity and Velleshwar environment, that is wrong. Kolhapuri people, Kolhapuri chappal manufacturers, that organization can file a case against you. Okay. So that is called geographical indication. Let's move ahead. Explanation clarifies that GI need not be a geographical name. All the time it is not geographical name. Sometimes it is just Alfonso. I think this word Alfonso is used for Ratnagiri Hapus. I'm not sure, but in a certain region, this Alfonso is produced. Okay, Basmati. Okay, so these are some examples. Goods include goods of handicraft or of industry and also food stuff. Food stuff and other handicraft even it can have geographical indication. Registration. In India, geographical indications have to be registered. Geographical indication registry examines and publishes the application before registration. So the examination will be done and then only the rights will be given. Registration is valid for 10 years but can be renewed indefinitely. Okay. So this is all about geographical indication. Now, what are the rights under geographical indication? See, what are the rights? Exclusive rights to use the goods. Right to obtain relief from infringement of the geographical indication. Right to obtain relief from infringement of the geographical indication. Okay, so the way other intellectual property rights, they have the rights. Similarly, geographical indication also has the rights. The people can file a case. If infringement means if some illegal use is found, if at any place if you find illegal use, okay, then that is called infringement. Infringement means breaking of the law. Okay, in case of the law is broken, for example, if here at Velleshwar, if Kolhapuri chappal is produced and if it is sold, okay, then Kolhapuri chappal manufacturing organization, it can file a case and then the loss can be recovered. Okay, the Velleshwar person who was using it illegally will have to pay fine or penalty to Kolhapuri people as per the law. Okay, so these laws are there. Then let's move on to the next point. Semiconductor integrated circuits. Semiconductor integrated circuits layout design. So especially the electronics people, they are very much familiar with this semiconductor integrated circuits and layout designs. Layout designs. Original and novel layout. Again, this creation, again, it has to be original, novel, new. Original and novel layout designs of semiconductor integrated circuits can get protection through registration. Registration is done after examination and publication of the application, and registration is valid for 10 years. Okay. So, in the modern world, we have the advancement in the field of telecommunication, electronics engineering. So, semiconductor integrated circuits also can be protected. Okay. So, let's move ahead. Now, trade secrets. What are trade secrets? In brief, for example, Maharishi Parshuram College of Engineering can have some secrets. Those secrets should not be revealed to any other college. Okay. So, Maharishi Parshuram College of Engineering, it maintains academic excellence. To maintain that academic excellence, it has some secrets. It has some secret procedures. Okay. I'm just giving this example, but don't take it literally. In the industry, basically in the industry, there are some trade secrets. So let's study that. Some inventions, data, information cannot be protected by any of the available means of IPRs. There are some things, there is some data there is some information which cannot be protected under any other IPR, geographical indication, copyright, patent, under any other this, it can't be protected. So such things can be protected under trade secrets. Okay. Such information is held confidential as a trade secret. The confidentiality is maintained. Trade secret can be an invention, idea, survey method, manufacturing process, experiment results, chemical formula, recipe, financial strategy, client database, etc. Okay. Some 5-star hotels even, they can have a particular recipe. Okay, that recipe they will have to keep it as a trade secret. Okay. Otherwise, if other hotels also follow the same recipe, then that particular hotel, one which had invented that particular recipe, it will lose. It will be a loss. Okay. So these are the details about trade secrets. Okay. Let's move ahead. Protection of plant varieties. Now, in our locality itself, at Dapoli, there is agricultural university, Dapoli Krishi Vidyapith. Okay. So this point is more related with the agricultural field. Protection of plant varieties. Registrable varieties and criteria. The new variety of let us say sugarcane, new variety of sugarcane. Okay. Similarly, there are other crops. Novelty has to be there. Something new has to be there. Novelty. Distinctiveness. Distinctiveness means, for example, one inventor invents one new breed, one new variety of sugarcane. Okay, so that should be new variety, and that new variety should be different from all other previous varieties. That is distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability. So uniformly, that variety should be cultivated. Okay. So let's proceed further. Extant varieties, distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability. So these are basically the features. Persons who can register. Persons who can register. Breeders can register. Farmers, universities even. Universities also can register plant varieties. Agricultural institutes. Now, what is the period of protection for plant varieties? 15 years for annual crops and 18 years for trees and vines. Vines are they are called vines. Okay. So the protection for plant varieties also is available. Okay. So this is all about the intellectual property rights. All this is just the introduction to intellectual property rights. When we conduct the next sessions, when we arrange the next sessions, we can arrange the next sessions purely on typical topic, patents. Only on patents we can arrange our next session. Only on copyrights we can arrange one session. Only on geographical indication or only on plant varieties we can arrange our next session. Here, in this particular session, there was only the introduction to copyright, patents, trade secrets, geographical indications, and plant varieties, protection for plant varieties. Okay, so with this, I conclude this session. If you have any questions, you can ask. Even the online participants can ask questions. Online participants are requested to put their queries in the chat box.